What's going on, guys? Zach from Uchu Shelf here. Today we are going to talk a little bit more about manga piracy and why piracy is really detrimental to the manga industry. Nah, could you imagine? Nah. Today we are going to do a manga haul video. So the first thing I can't show you guys, because I'm using my phone to record this video, is I purchased a Kindle Unlimited subscription, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but Kindle Unlimited comes with a lot of Comixology originals, including a lot of manga. And one manga I've been catching up on is Beck Mongolian Chop Squad by Harold Sakuishi. Now, Beck Mongolian Chop Squad is one of my all-time favorite anime. It is directed by Osamu Kobayashi, who is one of my all-time favorite anime directors. He's also done Paradise Kiss. More recently, he did the animation direction on the first ending of Dororo. And what prompted me to go back and read this was I saw Osamu Kobayashi, who I follow on Twitter, start reminiscing about his days of directing Beck. I started rewatching the Beck anime, and I got to the end of it, and I thought, I would really like to see where this goes after Koyuki and Beck go on their American tour. And fortunately, Kodansha snatched up the license for Beck, which was lost when Tokyo Pop went out of business, and they finished translating the entire manga. So now I am 2 volumes ahead of where the anime ended, and holy crap, why the anime didn't continue is beyond me, because this is just an amazing manga. If you haven't checked it out, I urge you to go and sign up for Comixology Unlimited or Kindle Unlimited if it's not available in your area. It's a Comixology original. Check it out. That's all I can say. It's a really, really good manga. Anyway, the first out of this pile are volumes 1 through 3 of Lone Wolf and Cub. Now, I picked these up for 2 reasons. One, because I really, really, really liked the movies. I watched the first film when I was up at 2 in the morning. I was about 10 years old, and there was nothing on TV. My grandma had about 3 TV channels, and it was just playing one of them. And it played 3 of the movies in a row. I fell asleep through the second one, but for some reason, the action and the story of that series really stuck with me. I knew it was a manga series. I never got into it until I recently met Based Senpai, who rants and raves about how fantastic this series is. So instead of spending my money on the Splatoon manga, which I really wanted, but apparently nobody buys it, I instead spent it on the first 3 volumes. Not entirely too impressed with the quality of this, to be perfectly honest. Now, as you can see, I wear glasses. I'm not blind by any stretch of the imagination, but even if I could see a little bit better, reading that is still a little bit difficult. I know there are larger ones out there, and honestly, when I ordered these off Book Depository, I was kind of hoping they were the larger ones. I got through the first 2 volumes, and I just love it. I can't wait to collect the rest of it. It's just such a good story. If you're just into samurai action and just period dramas, like, this is just the manga for you, and you definitely should check it out. Next up in this manga haul is Volume 6 of Dead Dead Demons, Dead Dead Destruction by Inyo Asano. That's released from Viz Media under their Viz Signature imprint here in the West. And it continues the story of Oron and Kadode and all their friends as they experience love, life, loss, and kind of uncertainty in a world where an alien mothership is just hanging overhead. This volume, of course, takes the series in a really, really cool direction. I won't get too into spoiler territory, suffice to say that they do meet an alien, and there's also more exploration as to the effects of aliens on society, meeting aliens on a person, and also explores the aliens that have crashed to Earth and have created these kind of makeshift communities in abandoned buildings. I know this might be a controversial take, but I honestly believe that once Dead Dead Demons is finished, it is going to be Inyo Asano's magnum opus. Way better than Pum Pum, way better than Solanin, way better than any other manga that he's created. This is his masterpiece. And if you haven't read any of it yet, go and check it out. So the next one I got is Dead Mount Deathplay, created by Ryogo Narita of Durarara fame and Shinta Fujimoto. Now I'm going to be really quick about this one. I don't even remember what it's about. I read it on the plane back, and I absolutely did not like it. It's kind of like just this legendary hero goes after this necromancer, like corpse god kind of thing. It's violent. It's got like sex scenes in it. Honestly, just wasn't for me. I had higher hopes going into it, knowing that it was written by the guy who did Durarara, because that is just a phenomenal story in and of itself. That's all I can say about it. I gotta be honest. I didn't like it. So it might be your thing. Go check it out. Dead Mount Deathplay. This manga haul brought to you by Lilt, the drink that kind of looks like a laundry detergent bottle. For all you old school manga and anime fans out there, do you guys remember DotHack? For you youngins, that's basically Sword Art Online, but better. Well, I recently repurchased the entirety of DotHack Legend of the Twilight, an entirely nostalgic-based purchase because this was the very first manga that I ever bought. I lost it when our basement flooded when I was a kid. Stupid me, left all my shit on the floor. But I also picked up Volume 1 of DotHack XXXX. I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced, and I definitely don't pronounce the X in Hunter x Hunter, so do not start with me on that. For those of you unfamiliar with DotHack, it's basically a human drama set against a massive multiplayer online RPG called The World. And The World is integral to a bunch of events that happen throughout the actual world, including like a massive computer virus that just crashes the internet worldwide. It's really, really slow. If you watch DotHack Sign, which is I think one of the first entries into this multimedia franchise, it's absolutely a slow-burning 26-episode series. There's a lot of very good parts about it, but don't go into it expecting this just fantasy action drama. Expect a human-driven story that covers everything from anxiety to loss. And for a bonus, if you do read DotHack Legend of the Twilight, you'll see a lot of parallels between it and Sword Art Online. Let me know which ones you find if you check this out. Now, for those of you who know me either personally or follow my channel or follow me on Twitter, you know that I have been hounding Viz Media and other English publishers to release Taiyo Matsumoto's Pingpong for the better part of 9 years. Well, I got fed up of waiting nearly a decade for a manga that is clearly never going to come out, and I decided to pick up volume 1 and 2 of the French omnibuses. I won't spend a whole lot of time telling you what this series is about. Suffice to say, it's about two friends who play ping pong and all the trials and tribulations that come along with playing in the pro circuit while growing up in high school. What I really want to talk about is how shafted we are getting as English manga fans, because the production quality of these volumes is unparalleled to anything I have ever bought in English. So off the bat, you can see this little string hanging out. This is just a built-in bookmark for a manga. I have never seen that before. Next up, not unheard of, but hardcover. And just for reference, these two cost me the exact same price on Amazon. And not only is it just beautifully designed, paper quality is just unreal as well. Like, obviously it's hard to tell the quality of the paper. Hopefully you can kind of gather it from the lack of glare and just the inability to see the next page kind of fading through. Wow, I'm blown away by how wonderful the quality of this book is. Now, for those of you wondering, yes, je comprends français, Petite Blue. I understand French a little bit. When you grow up in Canada, it is compulsory to learn French. A lot of it kind of stuck with me. Reading the first chapter of that, a lot of it didn't. So I'm also relearning French in my spare time, both because I want to go to Paris at one point in my life, but also to basically read manga, because France has about 5 times as much manga as we have, and a hell of a lot better series than we'll ever get. And the final manga in this July and August manga haul is Mobile Suit, and I can't stress this enough. God damn it. Gundam, The Origin, volumes 1 through 12, entirely too goddamn heavy. You ever realize how out of shape you are because you lifted some books? Whew. So I'm a huge Gundam fan, and I'm not talking about like Gundam Seed or Double O or anything that isn't a part of the Universal Century. Although there are a few entries in the Gundam franchise that aren't part of the UC that are my favorites, such as Turn A and Iron-Blooded Orphans. But if the title is any indicator, Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin follows the origin story of Gundam and the beginning of the Universal Century storyline. There is a lot to cover, and I am not going to get into it now because I could talk about Gundam for hours, and I'm sure you guys want to get on with your day and read your manga. But that basically set me back more money than I'm willing to admit, although it was a hell of a lot cheaper per volume than buying it all at retail. So, saved a lot of money, but also kind of not really. So there you have it. That's my July and August manga haul. What did you guys buy throughout the month of July and August? Now that the summer is coming to an end, what's on your sights for the fall? There's a lot of new releases coming out. If it's something that's not a new release, maybe it's in your backlog and you've always wanted to buy, hit me up in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at UchuShelf. Or just come on over. I will put the kettle on and probably have the police here because, first of all, how the hell did you get my address? And you guys know what I'm going to say next. Don't forget to support the legal manga industry by buying volumes, subscribing to applications, or going to your local library and checking manga out that way. And if you're not sure where to read legal manga, go to www.wherecanireadmanga.com. It will give you a list of subscription-based, free, and per-volume options where you can read manga digitally, legally, and support the creators. So until next time, folks, last week it was the wink, now it's the gun. Happy reading. I'm gonna shoot you and then you can't read manga. Fucking idiot.